My brother is bullied mercilessly, and I don't care. He kind of deserves it. Am I the asshole? So my brother Darren, 15 male, is getting bullied, in quotes, online in his and my parents' word. I mean, in my opinion, which might be kind of bad, I think he deserves it.
Damn.
Basically, he slid into a girl's DMs, got rejected, and unleashed a ton of disgusting sexist abuse on her. The girl made an Insta post about it that got shared around the kids at her school, and then a bunch of people commented about how he had done similar things to them. Sometimes bullying has a purpose.
Yeah, this bullying has a great purpose, I would say.
Exactly. This guy needs to be castrated. He who shall slither into the DMs without respect shall lose both testicles. It was honestly disturbing to read. And while I knew my brother was kind of off, I didn't think he was this bad. I read that he called a black girl an ugly N-word once, and they got into an argument about politics, and a lot of other people have awful experiences with him as well. Her post currently has over 1,000 likes, so a lot of people have seen it. You deserve it. My brother is currently suspended, and the school's deciding on what they should do moving forward. However, my parents are furious with me for not sticking up for him or defending him. They have punished him, but they're currently in the mitigatory period in order to try to protect his future. Makes sense. They want to make sure that he's not totally fucked. It's true that it's getting pretty bad. He gets hateful DMs every day, and there's even a Darren hate page, I guess his name is Darren, on Instagram with dozens of followers. A lot of his friends have cut ties with him, and he's constantly crying or angry. He's scared for his future, and his mental health has taken a toll. I've gotten backlash too for being his sister, and I've had to explain to numerous people in my DMs that I don't condone his behavior. I think it's absolutely disgusting, etc. My parents and Darren expect me to make some sort of statement of solidarity for him, or at least tell people to move on. But I don't want to. For one, that'd get people mad at me, but two, I honestly think he deserves all of this for what he did. I told him that I think his future college/career prospects are probably wrecked, but there was no one to blame but himself. I don't know if I would say that again, like in the thought of like making sure he doesn't dive deeper into these ways.
Yeah.
Show him that, hey, if you turn this around and admit that you're being a total asshole and see the error of your ways, maybe there is a future for you.
Yeah.
You know, that sent him into a spiral of wailing and rage. And my parents are incredibly angry that I don't support him because, quote, he can change and ultimately he's my brother and I need to be on his side when the whole world is against him. There is an edit. To answer a common question, he has given a public apology, but it felt really insincere to me since he only said it after the girl's post started getting traction. When she first posted it, he DM'd her with threats and insults to take it down. Also, I didn't say his future prospects were gone, as in he couldn't grow and not be sexist or racist, just that in a practical sense, he wasn't going to be getting into a really good college / become a politician like he wanted. Man is making all the wrong political moves. And he's trying to become a politician.
That is not how you build a career in politics, my guy.
But is OP the a-hole for saying what she did and not being on his side? What do you think? I want to know what everyone else thinks in the comments. What would you do if this was your brother?
What would you do?
What if this came out about like your current sibling that you may have a good relationship with? What would you do?
Yeah.
John, I'm curious your thoughts.
It's really an a-hole move on the parents to try and force OP to come up with this like statement of solidarity or whatever.
Especially when she doesn't believe it.
That doesn't help him learn anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, so I think that's a very bad parenting move on their part.
Do you think the sister is being as empathetic as she could be or should be?
I mean, yeah, there's probably like what you were saying with like the schools and opportunities and stuff like that. Like that's not, as far as like, how do we get him to start working on his mindset as quickly as possible? Being like, oh yeah, your future is ruined is probably not
the move.
The best way to.
But everything else I think that she's been saying and doing besides that, I feel like has been more or less the right decision.
She seems pretty level-headed.
But I mean, like, I'm really curious what all of you guys think. What would you do if this was your sibling, your brother, your sister, maybe even your cousin if you don't have a brother or sister, or your friend if you don't have a brother, sister, or cousin, or I don't know, like your kebab shop coffee barista person that you really like and talk to every day. Shout out Vinny, who's my barista person here. What would you do if any of those people came out with these comments? Put your answers in the comments comments below. And John, I want to hear this next story.
My girlfriend is getting too friendly with my high school bully, so I went off on her. Am I the a-hole?
I just got a bust. I love when Riley looks at me like that. He's like literally naked right now.
His wiener is covered in mosquito bites. Me, 26 male, and my girlfriend, 26 female, met in high school. We became really good friends. She was basically my only friend in school, and we decided to go to the same university so we wouldn't drift apart.
That never ends poorly.
When we were in university, I finally asked her out, and we've been dating ever since. To sum up my time in high school, it was an awful time. I was very lonely, introverted, and quiet in both high school and middle school, so I was prone to getting bullied. I was heavily bullied by this guy. Let's call him Luis. And his group of friends. He would poke fun at my eye condition, intentionally embarrass me, and make me uncomfortable in front of everyone.
What's his eye condition? Is he blind?
When he said eye condition, I thought of like
he's wearing glasses.
Maybe he has like a they would call me all kinds of names and just made my life in school hell. This was majorly traumatizing because school was supposed to be a safe place for me because I was getting emotionally abused by my shitty family at home.
Oh, that sucks.
I'm really sorry, OP. But he ruined any chances of it being a safe place for me by making every day horrible. My girlfriend was aware of this bullying situation at the time, and when we became closer friends, she always comforted me about it and sympathized with me when I vented about it. That's sweet. I'm glad OP had somebody. She agreed that they were very cruel for no reason and I didn't deserve it at all. She told me she hated them for hurting me like that. Fast forward to now.
Oh God.
And what the problem actually is, we were out together walking the dog and I told her I'd jog to a nearby store real quick, pick up some cigarettes and come back while she stayed at the park.
First mistake.
What's the first mistake?
Being addicted to cigarettes.
Yes.
Smoking fucking kills.
From your boys at OKOP.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Don't fucking smoke. I would love to scream at kindergartners.
When I was walking back, I noticed her talking to someone from a distance. She seemed all cheerful and laughing.
Oh no.
They talked for a bit and he walked away in the opposite direction. So I come up to her and I asked her, "What's up?" She nonchalantly smiles and says, "It was Luis from high school."
Fuck. Oh no. Not with the smile.
I awkwardly chuckled and said, "Whoa, you were seriously happy to talk with that guy?" She says, "Sure." I told her, "You do remember he was the person that basically made my life a living hell in high school, right?" She told me, "Yeah, I remember, but I'm sure he has changed and he seemed really sweet. Come on, don't be like that."
Yeah, he's a 12-inch hog and super good looking.
Damn, Poppy. I got pretty mad at that point and didn't say anything. She notices the awkward silence and says, "Aw, dude, come on. Do you seriously still have a grudge against him? I thought you'd be over it by now." Holy shit. That felt like a knife through my stomach. It's not that effing easy to get over years of trauma that sabotaged my self-esteem and confidence. It was so hurtful to hear coming from her, especially because she was my rock during those times while I was getting abused by everyone at school and home. I still don't hate the guy and his friends after all this time has passed or want them to suffer or whatever, but it's not easy at all to forget what they did to me. Sure, maybe they changed for the better, but seeing her talk to him so cheerfully and telling me about it made me die inside. Am I the a-hole for this? There is a update, decently meaty update.
Okay.
But I'm curious, everyone watching and Sam, like, what do you do in this scenario? Someone like your worst high school bully rizzes up your significant other and you're just like, what do I do?
Okay, well, first off, we don't know this isn't a legitimate riz. Like her being kind to a guy that she hasn't seen in ages
is disgusting. Is unacceptable. No, I'm just kidding.
Gross. No, I think it's fine.
Yeah.
I think it's fine. Like you should be nice to people. Like if my high school bully talked to, or I didn't really have high school bullies, but my middle school bully talked to, my current girlfriend or something, I would, even if she knew about it, I would expect her to be nice and kind.
Yeah.
If she's like touching the chest, feeling up the arms, laughing a little bit too much, "Hey, can I get your number?" Sending nudes, then I'm going to be like, all right, that's not cool.
Yeah.
But John, I want to hear this meaty update.
Let's get into it. Basically, everything was kind of tense between us after we went home yesterday. When I woke up the next morning, my girlfriend told me we needed to talk, so I agreed. I was going to ask her first, but she beat me to it. She asked me if I was still upset about yesterday, so I told her that I was, and I explained that hearing that he's a sweet guy from from her was really painful, especially when she knew about the stuff he did to me. I told her that being friendly like that towards people who tormented me wasn't something I accept, and obviously explained that her get over it comment was out of pocket and unnecessary. I told her how him becoming a better person was kind of irrelevant to me because no matter how much he's changed, the consequence of his actions will always stick with me. She listened to me explaining, and she started crying in the middle of it and said that she was incredibly sorry and that she didn't think too much of it at the moment and failed to consider my feelings.
Oh, that's really nice.
That's a nice response. She said after I explained it from my POV, she realized she was being the a-hole and it was a stupid assumption that the trauma would go away over time and I would forget about it. We understood where each of us was coming from and I forgave her. She was very genuine about it, and I know that she's not a malicious person and wouldn't want to intentionally hurt me, even if it did hurt. There was a bunch of people telling me to break up with her in the comments. Man, divorce chant just always goes off.
Always goes off.
Always a divorce chant in the comments, guys.
I don't know if Reddit gives the best relationship advice. Don't take relationship advice from people who are single.
And I see why to some other people this would be a complete deal breaker, but in my opinion, relationships obviously come with their ups and downs, misunderstandings, and conflicts like this one, so I forgave her for this, and I moved on, especially when she realized what she did was wrong and apologized.
In what world is this a complete deal breaker?
Yeah.
Talking to... What the fuck? You got Reddit, get your shit together.
Yeah, this is way too much,
Get
guys.
your shit, put it in a bag, get it together.
Pack it. If she hadn't, it would have been a completely different thing. She told me that she didn't want to keep contact with him after this and doesn't care about him at all, even told me that she wants to block him on the socials that they exchanged, and I said that that was up to her. So far, everything seems to be okay, and I feel like this helped our relationship in terms of setting boundaries and respecting them, and I'm glad we were able to talk it out. Well, we want to talk it out with you guys because I think this is a very good conversation. What are your boundaries in your relationship? What are things that are no-go for you, deal breakers, etc.? Let us know in the comments. We would definitely love to hear from you guys.
Yeah, and I think, there's not necessarily a universal law of how you should conduct a relationship. One of my friends was talking about how he's in a non-monogamous relationship. As long as your relationship contract is the same between both of you and you keep to it, that's all that matters.
Exactly.
And there's different there's different relationships all throughout. It's like some people might be comfortable with you flirting with other people a little bit. Some people that don't even look in the direction of another woman or man. So what feels comfortable to OP isn't necessarily universal. I think coming from the story, I feel like there was maybe a little bit of an overreaction on OP's side.
I think so.
The only thing I think that his girlfriend did wrong was trivializing his trauma, saying you should be over it by now. That's a little bit of an a-hole move, but everything else I think is fine. But good on her for hearing where he came from and apologizing for how she made him feel. That's always a good thing.
Everyone makes mistakes. We don't live in each other's heads, and sometimes
and it's not even necessarily a mistake. It's just is this something that someone's uncomfortable with? I think speaking language of hey, you did this and it made me feel you can't argue with someone's feelings.
Exactly.
OP's girlfriend isn't a jerk, but maybe she made him feel a certain way and he can voice that.
100%. You know what, Sam? I really want you to dunk this next story on me.
I'm gonna freaking Kobe, rest in peace, this next story all on you.
Let's do it.
I let my daughter date my son's bully and he did not take it well. I may have just torn my entire family apart. Am I the asshole? This all started a couple of years ago and it has completely split our family apart. My son, Z, 22 male, has pretty much been estranged from us since he was 18. Adam is the son of good family friends. He and my daughter, P, 24 female, began dating around when they were 19. The problem is, Adam was a bully to my son throughout school. As you can imagine, he didn't take it very well. He was furious. However, my daughter refused to budge on this. I tried to stay out of the situation, but my wife took my daughter's side, partially as we were good friends with the Adams' parents, but also because she thought Z would eventually get over it. If they were good family friends, why didn't they try to do anything about the bullying?
It's stupid to not.
Yeah, that's really fucked. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. Instead, it made a stark difference in my son's personality. He had become much more aggressive, cold, and disrespectful. He no longer listened to me or what his mother had to say, often using intimidation to get what he wanted. He would also disappear for days at a time without so much a word. This would more or less carry on until he left for university, after which he probably spent no more than 2 weeks in total back home, opting to stay with friends or whatever girl he was seeing at the time. He has rejected any olive branch we extend. This has completely destroyed our family, and it especially hurts my wife as they were quite close before this happened. The last time we spoke was last year before lockdown. He called me a coward for sitting on the fence. I understand why he feels the way he does, but was I really wrong to stay neutral on this? I didn't feel like it was my place to control my daughter's dating life. And there is an update. But John, I want to know what everyone else thinks. Is OP the dad being an a-hole, and why? If you think so, or why do you not think so? But John, what do you think?
I do see the point in where it's like, hey, if I tell you you can't date this guy, that's only going to make her want to date him more. Like, that is the kind of catch-22 that you're dealing with in this situation. But again, kind of to your point before, like, why did the families not like sit him down and talk to him and be like, you cannot do this?
Yeah,
like,
I think OP is not the a-hole for like not controlling, like for not going in and controlling his daughter's dating life. Is the a-hole for not doing anything sooner. It seems like way too little, too late. Like they didn't do anything to prevent the bullying. If they were family friends, they should have done more. And I bet you the son felt like not only was he not helped during his time when he was being bullying, they weren't taking his account to his feelings then, and they're not taking account of his feelings now.
Yeah, and this is just like so much worse. Like now your bully's gonna be constantly around you, and you have like basically no choice. Like home went from like the safe place to like
to not safe. Your bully has literally infiltrated your family. Like how would that be? Depending on how bad the bullying is, that would be traumatic.
100%.
I could see not wanting to be part of the family. But I got an update. It was quite clear that we were in the wrong and we accept that. However, my son was informed of the original post by one of his cousins. He got into contact and he found it hilarious. My wife managed to convince him to meet up with us and talk. In regard to his sister and Adam, he seemed completely indifferent to them. He said he wasn't particularly interested in talking to two losers no one really likes. It was a long conversation we talked about a lot, but it seemed to end with my son letting us know that while there might be the slightest bit of contact between us, me and my wife will always be on the outside looking in on his life. While this isn't what me and my wife hoped for, we are looking at this as a chance to eventually build our relationship back up. I'm happy to say he's outgrown his abrasiveness and has become a very confident and intelligent young man. He now runs a charity. He happily went into detail about how he works with disadvantaged children and helps them get opportunities, particularly in sports. And that's the end. It ended like, okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I think they are the asshole. They don't necessarily deserve anything from him.
Yeah.
But he's giving a little window into his life. So
100%.
I think that's all you could ask for.
I agree.
But what would you do? Put your answers in the comments if your bully f***ed his way into your life.
Ooh. Through your sister.
Through your sister. F*** your sister to fuck you up.
Yep.
Continuously. They say high school ends at high school, but nope, high school comes in your sister.
Yeah.
So
sorry.
Comes when you least expect it. Hey, yo. But yeah, let us know what you would do in this situation. Kind of crazy, honestly.
A little bit.
You don't want your highest school bully to follow you anywhere. Yeah, that would suck. But this is another Bali episode. We miss you. We love you.
See you next time.
Peace.